She walked out on him and their 5 kids. 10 years later, she returned and was shocked by what he'd accomplished without her. Stay tuned, you won't believe what she discovered. And let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Evan Carter had always put family first. He wasn't flawless, but he gave it his all. For years, he thought that was enough until one morning when he woke up to find Sasha gone. No warning, no fight the night before, just a folded note on the kitchen counter with 7 chilling words. "I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore." She didn't just abandon him, she abandoned them. 5 kids: Noah, Kyla, Reese, and the 2 youngest, still too little to grasp what gone meant. One was in diapers. The other had just started preschool. The silence in the house that day was overwhelming. The kids asked questions he couldn't answer. Where's mommy? Did we do something wrong? He didn't know what to say, so he made up a story. He told them she needed a break, that she loved them, that she'd come back. But days stretched into weeks, weeks into months, and Sasha never returned. What came next was a mess. Evan had to drop one of his 2 jobs because daycare ate up more than he earned. Sleep became a luxury. He ruined dinners. He forgot field trip forms. Yet somehow, they made it through. Each day started at 5 a.m., when the world was still asleep. He'd pour coffee into the same chipped mug Sasha used to adore, a mug that became a symbol, not of her, but of the life he refused to let crumble. By 6:30, the kitchen buzzed with chaos: pancakes sizzling, kids fighting over the bathroom, Reese whining about a lost shoe. He never finished his coffee, but their rare bursts of laughter made it worth it. At the construction site, Evan found an odd calm. The clang of tools and hum of machinery drowned out the constant worry in his head. His boss, Marcus, would shake his head and say, "5 kids, and you're still on your feet, man." Evan would just grin. No one knew he sometimes broke down in his truck during lunch. He took on the role Sasha left behind, cooking meals, hurting the younger ones, never complaining. But Evan saw the strain, the quiet stares, the weary eyes. There were nights he thought he'd collapse, unsure how he'd pay the bills or face another solo parent-teacher meeting. But every time Reese hugged him and whispered, "I love you, Daddy," it fueled him to keep going. He fought hard. He skipped weddings, birthdays, promotions. While others chased careers, he built a home from the ground up. While his friends climbed the ladder, he was holding hands at school drop-offs and soothing colds at bedtime. Then, 10 years after Sasha vanished, everything changed. It was a typical Thursday. He got home, kicked off his boots, and sifted through the mail: bills, junk, school notices, until he spotted it. A letter. No return address, but the handwriting was hers. Sasha. His heart stopped. His breath caught. 10 years, 10 birthdays, 10 Christmases, 10 first days of school, all without her. And now she was reaching out. He didn't open it. Not yet. He stared at it as the kids filled the kitchen behind him, laughing, shouting, arguing over the last pizza slice. The life he'd forged without her suddenly felt under siege. The letter stayed sealed for days, tucked in his jacket pocket, close enough to feel, far enough to avoid. At work, it pressed against him every time he lifted a beam or grabbed a tool. He'd think about tearing it open, then push the urge aside. He wasn't ready. Then came another twist. Late Friday afternoon, Marcus called him into the site office. "Evan, close the door," he said with a grin. "I've got news." Evan stepped in, brushing dust off his hands. "We've been watching you for a while," Marcus started. "Your steady, quiet strength. We're offering you the lead foreman job." Evan blinked. A promotion, more money, enough to send Noah to college, get braces for Kyla, maybe replace their beat-up van. It was the kind of break he'd dreamed of on nights when the lights nearly got shut off. But Marcus wasn't done. It'll mean longer hours, some Saturdays, a few overnights, more meetings, more responsibility. Evan nodded slowly. He knew what that meant: less time at home, more missed dinners, more burden on Noah to pick up the slack. He didn't answer right away. That night, he sat across from Noah at the kitchen table. The others were asleep. Reese's favorite stuffed bunny lay abandoned on the couch. The house was still. "I got offered a promotion today," Evan said, watching Noah's reaction. Their eyes lit up. "That's awesome, right?" "It is," Evan said. "But it also means I'll be around less." Noah paused, then gave a small smile. "We'll figure it out, Dad. You always do." The words carried confidence, but Evan saw the weight behind them. Noah had been holding this family together as long as he had. Later, alone in his room, Evan finally opened the letter. It read like a confession. Sasha admitted she'd messed up, said she'd been overwhelmed back then, that leaving wasn't planned, just panic. She wrote about therapy, faith, rebuilding her life. Then came the kicker: "I want to see the kids. I've changed. I want to be part of their lives again. If you can forgive me, I hope they can too." Evan gripped the page, fingers tightening. Forgiveness for the birthdays she missed? For Reese's old night terrors, Kyla's hidden tears, the shame Noah felt when classmates asked why his mom never showed up. She wanted a second chance, but she hadn't even asked what her absence had cost them. He folded the letter and set it down. He couldn't decide yet. His kids deserved to know and to choose. But deep down, something had already shifted. This time, he wouldn't let feelings cloud his judgment. He'd shielded them for a decade, and he wasn't stopping now. The letter sat on the dining table for 2 days, untouched, but impossible to ignore. Noah glanced at it every time they passed. Kyla once asked if it mattered. Yes, Evan said, but not yet. He needed the perfect moment, not when the sink was leaking, not when Lila had a fever, not when he was too exhausted to think straight. Finally, on Sunday evening, he made the call. Dinner was subdued. Lila doodled in her mashed potatoes. Kyla rambled about a school project. The youngest two giggled over spilled juice. Evan stayed quiet. When the dishes were cleared, he remained at the table. Kids, he said, voice steady. There's something I need to tell you. Noah stiffened instantly. Evan picked up the letter and held it up. This came last week. It's from your mom. Silence. Not a sound, not a flicker. She says she wants to see you. Says she's changed. Says she's sorry. He didn't soften it. His voice held firm, but his hands trembled. When he finished, he looked up. Noah's face was pale, jaw tight. Why now? They asked, voice flat. Why not 10 years ago when we needed her? Kyla stared at the table, brows knit. Is she really coming back? The youngest two stayed silent. Reese shrank into her chair, half hidden. Evan nodded slowly. She reached out, but nothing's set. I wanted you to hear it first because this involves all of us. We're not a pit stop she can just drop back into, Noah said, sharp and final. No one argued. Later, Evan found Noah in the hall, staring at a photo on the wall, 5 years old, all 6 of them in matching holiday pajamas. She wasn't there, Noah said softly. I don't remember her voice anymore. Evan didn't know how to respond, so he stood beside them in silence. Reese cried at school and couldn't say why. Kyla kept asking unanswerable questions. Even the youngest two, usually so lively, grew hushed. Sasha's letter hung over the house like a dark cloud, quiet, heavy, looming. One night, as Evan tucked Reese in, she whispered, Does Mommy still love us? His heart shattered. I think she does, he said. But love isn't always enough. Reese blinked up at him. Are you going to let her come back? I don't know, he said. But I promise I won't decide without you. And he meant it. After 10 years of keeping this family whole, he wouldn't let the past break them now. The house grew heavier each day. Noah withdrew. Kyla fidgeted. Reese, who hadn't had nightmares in years, started slipping into Evan's bed at night, silent. The air felt unsteady. At the construction site, Evan struggled, dropping tools, misreading plans, staring into nothing. Marcus noticed. You okay? He asked, pulling him aside. After a beat, Evan spilled it. Their mom reached out after 10 years. Says she wants back in. Marcus raised a brow. 10 years? What's she after? That's what I'm figuring out. Marcus didn't pry, just offered quiet advice. Whatever you do, guard your peace. That night, Evan sat alone at the kitchen table, staring at Sasha's letter. The words hadn't changed, but their weight had deepened. The next morning, he called a lawyer. After hearing the full story, Sasha's exit, the letter, that told the lawyer was blunt. You've had sole custody for a decade. She has no rights unless a court says otherwise. But if she pushes, be prepared. It was all Evan needed. Back home, Noah was already ahead. I found her, they said, sliding a phone across the table. There she was, Sasha, smiling in social media photos with strangers. But her captions told another tale. Financial help, please, for second chances. A GoFundMe titled Starting Over After Setbacks. She's not back for us, Noah said softly. She's back because she's drowning. Evan stared at the screen, jaw clenched. This wasn't redemption, it was survival. The next day, he hired a private investigator. I want the truth, he told him. No guesses, no holes, just facts. The investigator nodded. You'll get it. That evening, Kyla approached him. Dad, if she wants to take us, can she? No, Evan said firmly. But what if she tries? He crouched to her level, meeting her eyes. She left. I didn't. And I won't let anyone unravel what we've built. He meant it. Later, he watched all 5 kids sleeping, Noah propped up with a textbook, Kyla tangled in sheets, Reese clutching her stuffed bunny. He'd held this family together through everything. Now, with Sasha circling back, he'd do whatever it took to keep them safe. The call came Thursday afternoon, an unknown number, but instinct told him to pick up. A familiar, shaky voice said, Evan, it's me. His grip tightened. Sasha. She cut to it fast. That's all. One meeting, please. No apology this time, just desperation. He didn't answer right away, letting her words hang. Then, if they don't want to see you, it stops there. No pressure, no surprises. She hesitated. Okay. He chose the Spoda Public Park, familiar, neutral, with room to walk away. Noah barely reacted when told, just nodded, jaw tight. Kyla asked the big question. Do we have to go? No, Evan said. No one's forcing anything. But they all agree they needed to see for themselves. The day arrived under gray skies, chilly but not raining. Evan stood by the duck pond, all 5 kids beside him. When Sasha appeared, she wasn't the woman who'd left. Her hair was tied back, her coat too thin, her face aged, drained. She approached slowly, eyes on the kids. I've missed you all, she said, voice trembling. No one budged. Noah crossed their arms. Kyla stared at the ground. Reese clung to Evan's hand, half hidden. Sasha kept talking something about being lost, finding herself, life's hardships. But her words fell flat, bouncing off a decade of absence. Then Noah stepped forward. What do you expect from us now? They asked. Not angry, just real. Sasha had no reply. The meeting ended soon after. No hugs, no tears, just a thick silence broken by pond ducks. As they turned to leave, Sasha whispered, I hope you'll let me try. No one answered. The ride home was quiet, no bickering, no music. The silence spoke louder than words. That night, Evan sat on his bed's edge as Noah lingered in the doorway. She didn't even ask how we've been, they said. Evan nodded. I'm proud of you, he replied. All of you. Whatever Sasha wanted, it wasn't this. They weren't the kids she'd left and they wouldn't break this time. The quiet from the park lingered. At dinner, no one mentioned Sasha, but the meeting's weight hung in every look, every pause. Even Reese, usually chatty, stayed silent. Noah scrolled their phone wordlessly as the others ate. She looked like she needed something, they muttered. Not like someone who came back for love. Evan didn't respond, it started to feel it too. 3 days later, the investigator called. I've got something. You might want to sit down. Evan braced himself as the man laid it out. Sasha was buried in debt-maxed credit cards, 2 lawsuits, an eviction notice from 6 weeks back. Jobs came and went, none lasting long. The GoFundMe was real, barely keeping her afloat. And worse, she's mentioned your Namito friends, online. She thinks reconnecting with the kids could fix her mess. Evan leaned back, phone still to his ear. Not a family reunion, a lifeline. He hung up, the knot in his chest turning to cold clarity. That evening, he called a family meeting. The kids gathered, the air still fragile. He laid out the report, letting them see it raw. I wanted you to know the truth, he said. No secrets, no pretending. Noah read silently. Kyla's eyes widened as she flipped pages. The youngest leaned into him. She's in trouble, Noah said softly. Yeah, Evan replied. But not for the reasons she said. Reese looked up, voice tiny. So she's not back because she loves us? No, sweetheart, Evan said, pulling her close. She came back because she needs something. But we don't owe her anything. Silence settled, heavy but sure. The truth hit, they didn't ask more. Sasha wasn't here for reconciliation. She was here for rescue. Evan had decided. Later, after the others slept, he opened his desk drawer and pulled out a thick envelope, sealed for nearly 3 years. The next night, he gathered the kids again. I've been holding on to this until the time was right, he said, placing it on the table. Noah raised a brow. Kyla leaned in. He opened it slowly. Legal papers, stamped and signed. Not just college, not just emergencies for security. He paused. And I worked with a lawyer to make sure no one can ever take you from me. Noah squinted. What do you mean? I legally adopted all 5 of you. Silence. Kyla blinked. Reese's mouth dropped. Even the youngest froze. I made it permanent, no loopholes, no custody fights, no surprises, Evan said, meeting their eyes. Your mind be law, by heart, in every way that counts. Noah swallowed hard. You did that without telling us. Evan smiled faintly. Because love doesn't shout. Sometimes it works quietly, keeping you safe when you don't even know it. Kyla's voice broke. You didn't have to, but you did. I had to, Evan said. You're my family. I wasn't letting anyone take that away. Not again. Tears fell. Reese climbed into his lap. Noah squeezed his hand across the table. That moment didn't need noise or celebration. It was the certainty they'd missed for 10 years, proven, not just promised. In the weeks after, peace returned to the Carter home. Noah toured colleges, Kyla joined soccer, Reese danced again. The youngest two brought back the laughter. For the first time in years, they dreamed without fear of disruption. One evening, Evan finalized the last legal steps, adoption complete, finances locked, future secured. His promise was ironclad. Then another letter came, Sasha's handwriting, short, apologetic, real. She admitted she'd returned out of desperation, not love, and understood now. She wouldn't reach out again. Evan didn't reply. Later, through a friend, he heard she'd moved, taken a job via a support program, trying to rebuild alone. It was done. The door she'd left ajar had closed. Home felt lighter. Movie nights returned. Laughter filled every corner. One night, Noah stood in the kitchen and said, "You saved us." Evan shook his head. Now saved each other. Together, they moved forward stronger, wiser, unbreakable. This wasn't the family Sasha abandoned. This was the family Evan built. Evan didn't just raise 5 kids solo, laid a foundation they could stand on forever, through pain, sacrifice, and quiet grit. He showed love isn't grand gestures, it's showing up every day. He didn't need praise. He needed them whole, safe, free. In the end, he gave his kids what their mother never could: security without strings, love without limits. So, what would you do if someone from your past reappeared after years, asking for a second chance? Tell us in the comments if this story touched you, inspired you, or reminded you of family strength. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unforgettable stories like this. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.